I've said it a couple of times already and it definitely rings true, so I thought I'd mention it again. In cookware and cooking, just like every industry, you have your luxury goods and you have your budget goods, and that's the way it works. And definitely at the top of the list in cookware, along with All-Clad and a couple of different brands, Le Creuset rings true as the Rolls Royce essentially of cookware. Specifically, they're known for their enameled cast iron, which gives you all the benefits of cast iron without all of the worry essentially and all of the negatives essentially. So they invented enameled cast iron over in like 1925 or so. They originally started in France, and all their stuff, at least cast iron wise, is still made in France using sand molds. Very high quality gear. This guy right here is the 3.5 quart, and it's in flame, which is one of my two favorite colors besides Marseille, which I harp on every time we talk. So let's open it up. I'll give you guys some of the benefits and whatnot, and then we can move on from there. This is the interior enamel. It's like a sandy tan color. This is what gives you all the benefits, essentially, all of the practical benefits of Le Creuset. The idea is that you get all the benefits related to heat. It's amazing at heat retention. It's a very, very poor conductor of heat. So once you get it up to temperature, it stays there as, it grasps onto that heat as much as it can. But you don't have to deal with the negatives of cast iron, which are making sure it stays seasoned, making sure you wash it properly, and making sure the foods that you put in it don't react. So as a lot of you know, when you work with cast iron, you can't use things like wine, you can't work with tomatoes, you can't work with acidic or reactive foods, because it'll literally react with the cast iron and it'll leach iron particles into your food, giving it a disgusting metallic taste. This gets rid of that problem. So they're amazing for things like stews, braises, frying, or just anything where you want to cook low and slow, throw it in the oven for 6 hours or whatnot, and make sure that you're not going to have to deal with any weird flavors in your food. Like I said, flame is my favorite color besides Marseille. They are neck and neck with each other. So I'm going to flip it over right now and you can see what it looks like. But before I do that, quick note. A lot of people think that this is raw cast iron. It's not. It's actually clear enameled. The whole thing gets clear enameled, and they do sand colored on the inside and the final color on the outside. So the whole thing is protected against rust and stains and leaching and whatnot. So you don't need to worry about it as long as you take care of it. And this is flame. Beautiful color. It's actually originally one of their original colors, and they based it off of what molten iron looks like when they were using it at their factory. So it has a little bit of history behind it too. Like always, this is a signature line, so it has the handle that's very, very heat resistant. You don't need to worry about it. And it also, speaking of handles, let me move this out of the way. It also has the much larger handles that make it easier to hold on, especially with things like mitts or oven gloves or what have you. On top of that, it has the very, very resilient interior enamel that's very resilient to chipping, scraping, thermal shock and whatnot. So like I said, this is the 3.5 quart Dutch oven by Le Creuset, the round Dutch oven. You'll notice it's a very, very round shape, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I think this is the perfect size if you're doing like 2 or 3 or 4 people's food. If you're doing 2, like you and somebody, and you want to have like leftovers for one of you or for 2 of you, it's the perfect size. You're not going to be wasting a lot of food. And I think this, along with the 5.5, are like the 2 great sizes to have, whether you want to cook for yourself or whether you want to cook for yourself and a small party. But other than that, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll put a link down below, and I will talk to you very soon.